training video for the Toyota 830 on flats. The basics also for the control panel. That'll include loading a design, getting a design from the memory, deleting a design, color change, manual color change, trace, and also forwarding and returning your design. When you power your machine on, it should say at the very top EMB start. Underneath that it'll say file, data, and it'll say have a number. That number is the memory selected design, and down here it'll also say needle, and it'll either say that you're on a certain needle, or it'll show you a bunch of numbers. Usually when it shows you a bunch of numbers, that means it is in automatic. But what we're gonna do right now is select a design to download from our black box, which is this one right here. This is your black box, and I know it's a little blurry, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn the wheel and go ahead and select G005. It'll say Tiger on there on the screen, and then we're gonna go here to set. And when you press set, it'll say design menu on the top. The first option will be select design. The second option will be input design. We're gonna go ahead and select input design to input the design from the black box to the memory of the machine. So input design, hit set. Then you're gonna get an option that says input through PC. It'll say number. We'll go ahead and press 1. It'll also say name under it, data 8. That means that it's going to save the design to data number 8. So that'll be something that you need to keep in mind. Remember that the machine does not record the name of the file, so always remember what file you're saving it in. And then also underneath it says memory. This one says 15872, so that is the number of stitches that I have available to download. So remember, press 1 and then hit set, and you will get a downloading. It'll say downloading on the screen. It'll download. You'll also get a green data light that indicates that it is downloading the design as well. So you're gonna have to just wait until the design completely downloads. So right now we're at 3,000, and this design has about 6,662 stitches. It's still going, it's almost there. And it'll say complete on the screen. And then if you notice on your screen, it'll say input through PC. That's if you want to download another design. Then you wait for your black box to reconfigure, and then you can turn the knob and select another design if you'd like, and do the process over again. But we'll go ahead and leave it like that, okay? So we can go ahead and escape. Hit escape again, so it'll take you out of your design menu. And you'll notice that you'll be back in your embroidery start page, and it'll say file data 8. That means that the design that we just downloaded, which is the Tiger, has been selected. So after that, we need to go ahead and select the colors that we're gonna use. So you're gonna go to F1, and it'll say F1 menu. First option will say color change. Second option will say forward and back. So we want to select our color, so you go to color change, you go ahead and hit set on the number 1 option. It'll say color change on the top, then mode, it'll say auto. You can change that from auto to manual down at this AM button, but I would go ahead and say to keep it on auto, so it'll trim and go on to the next color. That way it runs through the entire design, so it's in auto. If you notice in the front cover of your machine, you'll have numbers 1 through 9, and you'll have a better visual of the colors that you have on there. So for instance, I have blue, yellow, black, red, blue, red, purple, orange, and yellow. So that's the order that you can select from. So let's say that our first color is red. On mine it's 4. I'm going to put 4 on the screen. Then my second color is probably going to be white, so then I would select 7 next. Then 8 for orange, and then I would select black for 3. So let's go do that on the screen next. Okay, so the first color that I'm going to select is 4. Then the second color is going to be 8, which is orange. My third color is going to be 7, which is white. And my last color is going to be 3. So just remember that the machine will recognize how many colors it is. So right now I'm at 4. So every time you select the number or the desired color that you want to use, it'll jump to the next one. Then once you get to the last color will be flashing. So once you're done with that, just go ahead and hit set, and it'll take you back to your embroidery start page. So basically this is what I call the home page. It's always going to take you back. So you'll see file, data, and then down here you'll see the 1 through 4, and you'll see the numbers that you've selected. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is trace the design to make sure that it's going to fit in the hoop that we've chosen to run the design on. Okay, so what I like to do is I'll put it on manual. You'll have your automatic colors up here, but when you put it on manual, it'll say what needle number you're on. So it'll say, mine says needle number 7. So with that, I like to put it on either needle 1 or 9. The reason for, you have a better visual of center pointing the center of your hoop. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the arrow to put it on needle 9. So right now I am currently on needle 9. So if you notice, you have a better point of view. You can move your hoop with the arrows. If you hold it down, you'll notice that the frame will speed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to center this hoop. This hoop that I currently have is a size 15 hoop. So it's a good size for this design. So I'm going to center it, and then you will notice that there is a trace button. And once I press that trace button, you will notice that that needle is going to trace inside that hoop. And you want to make sure when you're looking at it that this pressure foot doesn't go over any of the edges of the hoop. So that way you can kind of move it a little better. You might want to move it down a little. So I'm going to move it down a little, and then you can just move it in whatever direction you want to center it a little better. And then you hit the trace button again, just to make sure. And I feel pretty good about that area. So then you go back to the AM button right here and make sure that you get it out of manual and it's on automatic, so that all the colors that you selected in the order that you selected them appear at the bottom of the screen. Okay, so once we've done all that, that basically means that the machine is ready to run. So we know that the area that we traced is good. Also do keep in mind that we did put the colors back in automatic. So once you hit the start button to run the machine will automatically move to the first color that you selected. So I'm going to go ahead and press start. And the machine will start running for you, just like that. Also keep in mind that you have a speed. You can turn up, you can turn down your speed. Recommended speed on flats for the 830 is between 600 and no higher than 750. You'll definitely get a smoother run. So you notice that it's jumping to the next color. It'll trim for you, and it'll jump to the next color, and it'll run through just like that. If by any chance you experience a thread break or the machine stops with a thread break, you can actually have the forward and back buttons on your screen, on your control panel, and you press the back button, and every time you press it, it goes back a stitch. So if you have a thread break, I'd go back at least a minimum of 5 stitches. That way you don't miss any areas. Also, if you want to go forward, you can also go forward if you feel like you went back too far or something like that. And then you just hit start, and the machine will run over that area that you might have missed. Keep in mind also that when the design ends, it'll always end in the center point where we had centered the machine. So you're running multiple garments. You can actually take out your hoop and put in another one, hit start, and the machine will run the same colors over the same area. And here's what we have, our finished product. It's the tiger, right in the center of the hoop. So remember, when a design is put in the memory, it'll be put in the order that you're selecting it. So what I would do is try to remember or create a list, write down a list of the designs and the number of stitches, so that when you go back to select a design from the memory of the machine, all you have to do is hit set, and then you're gonna go to select design under the design menu. So hit set, and then it'll tell you right here up in the top left under select design, you'll have a number. Usually mine it's 7-7, so basically that means I have 7 designs in the memory. You can go on the up and down arrows to select the design that you want. So let's say I want the design that has 6,280 stitches. Then I would hit set, and that design will automatically send me back to the embroidery start. You'll see that you selected data 6, and it'll also have the numbers, the colors that you had selected for that design before. I mean, you might want to double check up on your colors to make sure that the colors are correct, but usually the design in the memory will also retain the colors that you've selected. So then you go back and do the same thing over again, centering the needle with your hoop and doing the trace and all that good stuff. Also, when your memory starts to fill up, you can go to set, which is design menu, go to select a design, and let's say you want to delete the tiger that we had just loaded. I know it was a 7-7, and I know the number of stitches. So then you're going to go ahead and hit the pink CL button, which is to clear it out, and that will delete the design from your memory. So some other buttons that we haven't gone over. Well, you have your start and your stop. The speed, remember that you don't want to go over 750 on flats. You have your emergency stop button. This button will completely turn the machine off just in case there's some type of needle hitting the hoop, or just for any type of emergency. You press it and the machine will turn off. When you do that, you will get a beeping emergency stop. So what you do is you turn the button to the right and the button will release. Remember, like I said earlier, you have the forward and back button, and then this is your color change, which is automatic. Automatic will select the colors that you had selected up here. It'll go in that order. And manual, you can move the head. When I say head, I mean this, left or right. So see how I'm pressing that and it's going. And remember that you always want to start on, I would just say needle 9 to center point the hoop before you run it. Then you put it back on automatic and it'll run the colors that you had selected. Start point button, that basically means that when your design ends, you can press the start point button and it'll return to where the design began. The F2 button, you'll use it more when you do your caps. to rotate your design and everything like that. So I do have a separate video for that as well. Well, that concludes the basics on the control panel. It's a very operator-friendly control panel, and it's very practical. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much.